Today we're going to talk about structures that promote engagement in class-wide discussions. So we know that responding in a class-wide situation is a little bit stressful for some of our kids. So our goals when we have class-wide discussions is to really set everyone up for a win. We don't want anyone feel like we got them, like no gotchas. Anytime they contribute, we need to celebrate their contributions to the class discussion. We really need to get away from the professional answerer behavior that goes on. Sometimes you have 2 or 3 students that are just, ooh, 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 me, like I want to answer. Having structures in place that make sure that everybody needs to prepare a response will get rid of that professional answerer. We hope to increase engagement and participation by doing these structures. And ultimately, at the end of everything, even though you've prepared them as best you can, sometimes the response isn't ready with the kids. You need to give them a face-saving way out. So these are the structures I'm going to share today with you. The first one is QSSA. It's a questioning strategy where you pose a question, usually an open-ended one, to the class, and you keep it posted up for them to keep looking back to. You have them think about it a bit, and you give them some wait time to think. They give you a signal to show that they are ready to respond to that question and give their thoughts. You provide them with a sentence stem or a frame that allows them to respond, like according to the text, blank, 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 in my opinion, blank, blank, blank. So you're using that academic conversation vocabulary for their stem to respond. Then you give them some time to share with someone else. They can move around the class, find your buddy with shoes that look like you, find somebody, like it could be your clock partner, get them to get together with someone to share their thoughts. And then, only then, is it time to assess, to do some random, kind of fake randomization, to ask a few kids what they think, and then they can do a little exit ticket or another way to assess. You can kind of move around during the share time and say, hey, I love your idea. Can I volunteer you? So that, and only at that time is it time to assess. Okay, so that's just a really quick overview of QSSA. It's just the most fantastic structure for getting good quality responses out of your kiddos. So structure 2, that's a part of that first one that I shared, is fake randomization. So remember, we want our students to get a win every time. I love popsicle sticks for this reason, because you can see in the jar and you can pick the kids that you really think need to respond. Always kind of go with the kids that when you've gone around to see during the sharing that they've got something really good, and maybe the kids that need that win that day, pick them to go first and have a couple of responses, and then go with the random in the cup. But you know your students, you know which ones are having a bit of a rough day. Maybe you're not going to pick that stick, but the kids don't know that. So they should be prepared and ready. You've given them all of that structure time to be prepared with a response, but maybe that sometimes there's kids that you might not want to touch on right at that moment. Dice, I love, because you can toss a dice, start counting from one side of the room to the next. They don't know where you're counting from. They don't know what number they are. You can totally fake randomize with a dice. They think that is random. You control how random it is. Another structure that is built right into that questioning strategy is wait time. So students need time to listen to the question. Students need processing time. For my ELL kids, they might need to translate it from one language to another. They might need time to get that courage. And then when they raise their hand, they're wanting to be heard, right? So why should you wait? You always give them extra time to get their thoughts together. So waiting the first time is the time between asking the question and getting the answer. And then the second wait time is the time after the student answers the question. And if you give a few moments of wait time after they've responded, sometimes they'll elaborate, and that's powerful. So wait time, let it happen, it deepens responses. The fourth structure is sentence stems. So it helps our students use the academic language from the content area. So you want to give them the vocabulary and the sentence stems or frames to make it happen. So practice making full academic sentences. Some kids can go through the whole day of school and not say a single full academic sentence. If you provide the structure for them and make it part of your routine, they will. So you think about what experts say in the different content area. A scientist says this, mathematicians say this. Have that academic vocabulary at their fingertips and practice it. So here's a couple examples of what mathematicians say. So there's reasoning sentence starters, questions that you can ask your partner, comparing sentence starters. Practice these things. Have the expectation that everybody has a response ready to go. And the connection between oral language, academic oral language, and writing is powerful. These structures, if you use them daily as routines, you'll see it crop up in their writing. And it's pretty powerful. Here's some additional sentence stems for math. I can visualize this problem by. Talk about that vocabulary, unpack it all. This is a big part of the learning in math, is being able to talk about their thinking. You can even have like little talk move bookmarks for kids. You know, you can have it up on the wall as an anchor chart, as a word wall piece, or you can have like individual little bookmarks that kids can have at their desk. They know that they're going to be talking about math and they need to have some of those sentence starters. The final structure I want to talk about is no more I don't knows. So always give the student a way out. So creating an instead of I don't know anchor chart with your kids can help this. So you've done all the things. You've given a great questioning strategy. They've given you a signal that they're ready. They shared with somebody. You gave them a sentence stem. You did your walking around to hear kids as they're doing their responses. You're like, okay, the elaboration is happening. In the moment, maybe the kid might just lose their thought. Give them an out. Give them a way out. Give them a place where they can still get a win. Make these up with the kids. May I please have some more information? May I please have some more time to think? Would you please repeat the question? Where could I find more information about that? The kids will come up with some really good responses of what to say instead of I don't know, and it'll just become part of the culture. A really good one for kids is like, I don't know the answer to that question, but I know an answer to a different question. Can I share that? Awesome, awesome. And speaking always in complete sentences. So this, I think for my language learners or for those kids where oral language is something they need to focus on, getting them to say a couple full academic sentences a day, magic. So go out and give these a try. I think you'll really be pleased at how interactive and how much participation happens out of these things. It may take a little bit longer. You might do less questions, but you'll get deeper responses and you'll have more kids engaged. So give it a try. Thank you so much.